Hello and welcome to another edition of E's Art Tips. Today I'm going to do a card for a good friend of mine who just got her professorship. So as I usually do, I'm going to just start out doing a sketch trying to figure out what I want to draw for my friend. And I think I'm going to be a bunny and she's going to be a little bear. And we can't hug right now, which is really sad, so we're always doing air hugs. So these guys are going to be hugging. So I've always told you about the figure 8 figure that you use for, those are kind of like child proportions, and that's what I'm doing here. So you can see the head is like the top of an 8 and the body is like the bottom of an 8, nice and big and round. It's always tricky to do hugs with cute little critters because their arms just can't be all that long. They're like little T-Rexes, little short arms. I always have to make myself put the faces down low because that's, you know, when kids, their features are all smushed down low. I always have trouble reminding myself to do that. So I figured out that the card fits best on a horizontal layout, and my sketch is pretty small, so I'm going to have to enlarge it a little bit when I put it on my card here. But here I go, I'm speeding it up for you so you can see. Trying to fill in the page with my composition. I don't want big gaps at the top or the bottom. The bear's going to have on a flowy graduate robe. I'm trying to get those eyes down low, get all those features. What happens is as we grow up, our features kind of spread out on our faces. Okay, so I think that's good. And I'm going to clean it up just a little bit so I don't confuse myself when I go to put in the ink line. I'm going to make sure I know what I'm supposed to be drawing, so I'm just kind of getting rid of the extraneous lines that are in the wrong spot. See, I almost missed the ear there. I have to look at this the way I would look at it because I'm having to draw a little bit with my art in front of me with the camera overhead, so I don't want you looking at the top of my head, so it's at a strange angle for me, so I have to put it at an angle where I can see it a little bit better. And I didn't want that arm looking like the bunny's choking the bear, that would be bad, so I lowered it a little bit so it's more like a hug. Love you, love you. Here, got those cute little toes. Okay, so I think that is my drawing, and there's my handy dandy brush, which I love getting rid of all my eraser stuff. My brush. And this time I'm going to use, okay, so I've got a Stadler and a Unipin, which I've shown you before, but today I'm going to use my Stadler. It's just a 0.1. I'm going to speed this up so you can see. And because of my angle, I'm not trying to get a really clean line, but I am trying to go over it a few times so I get a nice quality line. I know I've geeked out on you on quality line before. I promise I will do that video. About line quality, I will. Even at this stage, I'm still making a few little fix-ups here and there, but I try to have most of that worked out by the time I get to here so I'm not having to make any decisions. When I used to render color on children's book art, I would have 2 monitors and I'd have Hulu going on one and be coloring on the other and just kind of lose myself because all the big decisions had been made at that point. So I'm erasing the pencil line very carefully, going in little circles so that I don't smudge any wet ink. Although it dried pretty quick, so this is not bad. Alright, a few little errant spots. Get that cleaned up. And there is the black and white art ready to go. And I'm going to use my main kit, watercolor palette. This is my main watercolor kit, which I showed you before. And it looks like a wreck, but those are all pre-mixed colors, and all I got to do is add water, so. I'm using that pen that has the water in it. I really do love these things. You do have to watch out. I filled mine a little bit too full with water, and so it's dripping out the screw seam a little bit, so I'm having to watch out that I don't have it drip on my art. And I think I told you before, you know, if you need a light pastel color with watercolor, because it is such strong pigment, you just use a lot of water. It also is always going to dry lighter than you think. In fact, you can already see that that bunny is really light. Might have to do another coat on him. And the difference with these water brushes that have the water in them is that you don't have to clean your brush in a glass of water or a bucket of water, as some of my friends have, but you do have to get the pigment out of the brush using a paper towel. So here I am going back over the color, trying to get that a little bit more punchy. And it's still really wet, so it's taking the pigment pretty well. So my friend has golden curly hair, and everything in her house, she loves roses, rosy colors and blues and golds. There's a lot of gold in her kitchen, so I'm making her a gold bear here. And her robe is a nice rosy robe, putting those little cheeks, the little happy cheeks. There we go. Yeah, that kind of looks like my friend. And I always have to sign it. Always getting on my students, you gotta sign your work, so I'm gonna sign it. And hopefully my friend will love this, because I'm really proud of her. She did a great thing. Ta-da! So that's the end of today's Ease Art Tips. I hope you enjoyed watching me draw my bunny and my bear. Thanks, and come back next time. See you soon.